How are you?
Hi, Rebecca. It's great to see you. How are you doing?
Good. Man, I miss your face. Oh, it's been so long.
You've been back to Nashville some since you moved. You've been
Yep.
able to see the city and everybody.
Yes. All my friends, all our people. It's been good.
Everybody misses you.
I know. I'll be back. Well, I'm so excited to have you on the show today. For those of you that don't know Beth, she's a very dear friend of mine. We got to know each other really well when we both served on the board with Women in Technology in Tennessee, which is still an organization near and dear to my heart, even though I'm not in Nashville anymore. But Beth is also just a rock star in her day-to-day. She started out as a hardcore project manager. It's actually where I met her, was I believe a PMI group back in Nashville. And she's got, every single PMP cert that you can have around that, which has led her to be an incredible COO, operator through and through. And specifically, she spent the last 12 years at Trinisys, where she has been a rock solid piece of that organization and helped them have a lot of success, which we'll dive into today. So with that, Beth, anything you would add? We'd love to hear more about your experience and even what led you to Trinisys.
Yeah, so I didn't initially start out as a project manager. When I went to school, I really wanted to be a social worker. So I wanted to help kids do child protective services, specifically in foster care. So when I first moved to Tennessee, that's what I did until I got burnt out and I went to work for CNA Life on a break and was managing a new business team when all I could think about was how to improve the process for every piece of my team's operation. So I kept talking about that with my boss and people that would listen, and they were starting to build, this is so long ago, it was in the early 90s, project offices were just becoming a thing and project management was just becoming a thing. So I had the opportunity to join that team, and they were very gracious about training us and getting us ready to do that work and helped us understand the process of it. And I just loved it. And, you know, when you're passionate about something, you're able to really succeed in it because it's really core to what you do. So I was able to be really successful at the projects that we were doing at CNA. They were sold, as many companies are. So I had the opportunity to go work with a friend at another insurance company, and two of my partners, David Box and Travis, who were also at CNA, they left at that time to start Trinisys. They were just starting out, so they needed work to fund the business because I don't know if you know this, but Trinisys is bootstrapped. We've never taken outside investment, and we've grown it organically. So it's a different way to grow a business. It is definitely a struggle, but it has great rewards too. So they did a lot of projects for me at PICA, and then when the platform was ready, we baited it there. We were their first customer. We worked together, and we had a solid case study around how the platform could perform in that environment with the integrations that we were using, which were very standard for MedNow. We took that story on the road as we went to conferences, and you know how it is in an industry. Everybody goes to the same conferences, everybody talks to everybody. And one of my colleagues was just such a great evangelist for Trinisys and the implementation that we did. He told a great story about it. So other companies that did what we did started buying the platform, which was awesome. And then PICA was sold.
Of course.
They were acquired by a larger entity. And we were really doing great things with our technology. So I knew we would be taking a step back, or in my mind, I thought this, we would take a step back and we would have to build what we built for that organization for now the parent company. And I really wanted to work with Dave and Travis at Trinisys and help them put like structure and project management process and all of that in place with that organization. And it was at the same time that they were able to get office space. We had just a little bit. And we were about to be able to have insurance, which was important to me. So I joined them right about the time that they were able to get some office space, and we moved out of Travis's house. And then we were able to start growing from there and adding employees. So it was really exciting time to be there when there was really this great foundation in which to build on. And then we've been building it ever since for the last 12 years, which has been pretty exciting. I really never had a long-term thought that it would be like what tomorrow looked like. We were just always hoping for tomorrow. Like as we were
That's
building
awesome.
it, we worked really hard and we're excited that it was still a thing year after year. And I think that the support that we all had in doing that led us to be able to be great at our jobs so that we could build that solid customer base. It turned out, evidently, operations are just one big project in my mind because everything we needed was a project, adding space, adding furniture, adding team members, adding structure, adding benefits, adding a employee handbook, and adding all those things just was a natural evolution of the skill set that I had. So I started taking on more and more of those roles while I was managing projects, because you don't really need an operations person when there's 3 of you. So
Yeah.
as we were adding team members and as we were growing, the needs of the business kept changing and I kept taking on those roles and my role kept evolving as the company grew. So it was fun. It was fun to see how you could grow through the company and how I was changing as the company was growing.
That's awesome. And your mission that we were talking about, I think it was probably after a WIT event at one point, about really being focused on building a good business, a lasting business where people want to work, good software. Talk more about that and like how that drives the decisions that you guys make as a company.
Yeah. So when we left CNA, we were doing great projects. They're interesting. They were solving problems for the team members that were trying to deliver quality to their customers. But you know how it is with a large organization, as priorities change, projects get shelved and you don't get to finish them all the time. So we kept solving the same problem over and over again. And David and Travis had the idea for the platform, which would allow you to solve the problem once and then implement it across the board, or at least have a nice foundation or a low code solution to do that. So they went to start the company, and one of our guiding principles was, to work with top tech talent, or really top talent at this day and age, and to have a great time while we're doing that. So have a good company where everyone enjoys working and we keep our employees and our team members front of mind, but at the same time, deliver quality software and have a great relationship with our customers. So that was kind of the driving principles behind the starting of the company. And as we've evolved, we've realized it's important that we reiterate that message and really what the company was founded on and that feeling. It's hard to, as you grow a company, the people that you hire when you're brand new are different than the ones that you hire as you grow and become more stable. I'll never forget an interview when someone told me that they really wanted to go with Trinisys because we were the stable choice. And I thought, we are? I didn't realize, when did we become the stable choice? I'm so proud of that. And I thought, know that we had gotten that kind of status. But they, as we were growing and changing, we needed a way to be able to communicate that to our team and really what was at the heart of what we were doing. And about 2 years ago, I think it was, this year's gone so fast. I think it was January of 2019. We rolled out a more clear vision and mission statement that kind of went along those lines and took our guiding principles to the next level and introduced, we call them the 6 H's, which are kind of at the heart of what we do for our employees so that we could give them examples of what that was and why it was important to us to engage with our customers in a certain way. And then we gave examples of that and had a slide show that went with it, through the years. So it was a way we could pass on that feeling. I don't know if you can ever truly pass on the feeling of what you're trying to accomplish, but it's our way to try to help everybody bridge that gap and stay together.
Awesome. I love all that. That was a great share and a great story. I want to talk a little bit more about the other passion you have for your career, which is women in technology, and specifically the impact you made at Women in Technology in Tennessee. I mean, that's how I met you. You definitely impacted my life by introducing me to great people and just being a great example. But I want to hear from you how you got involved in that community and really what drove you to continue to invest, and then specifically how it helped your own career.
So I joined WIT about the same time that I joined Trinisys. We were anxious to get involved in the community and start letting people know that we were a company and we were in Nashville and what we did. But we had all worked for large organizations where the networking piece was not necessarily a necessity nor part of our jobs. So it was hard to make time for that. So when we were looking at what organizations that we wanted to be involved in, I chose WIT because I felt like it was an organization that spoke to me, obviously, as a woman in technology in the early 90s. There weren't a lot of women in technology. Even though I was in the project management office, most of the people on my teams were all male. There was a few great women that I worked with back then and I still work with today who are just amazing technologists. And we wanted to get to know the community. So I picked WIT and then I started building relationships within WIT. And I realized that those were translating into other organizations. So it was helping me become comfortable in a networking situation with people. I wasn't necessarily great at wanting to network or be around people in that capacity. So it was more of a safe place to start and then be more comfortable as I went to larger events and you would know someone. It's hard to walk into a room and not know anyone. So what helped me build relationships so that was more comfortable. And then the more I got to know the organization and meet the women that we were impacting with our scholarships, Barb Webb, who was one of the past presidents, asked me if I would join the board. And I joined as the membership director because I thought it would help me get to know more people in the community by doing the membership. It was all manual back then, so there was a touch point with every new member. So luckily we've automated that now. But it was very good at getting to know every single person who joined the organization or who came to meetings because I greeted all of them at the meeting. And as I got to know more and more of the women and heard their stories and understood what the organization meant to them or what was happening in their life, it helped us guide the vision and mission for WIT. After I was the membership, I was the vice president with Penny Grogan, and together we talked about how we could increase our revenue and scholarships and the longevity and sustainability of the organization so that we could reach more women and get more people interested in technology. Some of the scholarships that we give are for people who are wanting to return to the workforce, and their stories really resonated with me. Women who were trying to support children maybe on their own and weren't making enough money to support them were given the opportunity to get a degree or find a path within technology that was now enabling them to be able to support their children. So what sort of focusing, we had some scholarships in that area, but we started focusing more on how we could diversify our scholarships, not just high school seniors going off to college. How do you know that those women go into technology and how do you know that they come back to Nashville? So we started talking about scholarships that would be more important for girls who were wanting to stay in Nashville and bring that talent to Nashville and surrounding communities, or women who are already in the workplace and how can we get them the funds to be able to finish that so that they could stay in Nashville as well. All the while building the WIT brand so that more people were coming to our meetings, building a bigger networking community. As you know from attending meetings, it's not just women. A lot of men come to our meetings. It's a great place to find out about relevant topics in technology and in the things that touch technology within Nashville. And outside of Nashville, we have people in from all over the U.S. to speak to our group. It's been really exciting to see it evolve and change and to watch those meetings go from about 20 to 25 people to over 100 people, and to watch the monies that we're able to raise through sponsorships and other means grow. So we have a huge scholarship account now where we're doing multiple scholarships across multiple schools and generationally too. So not just high school or middle school, but also college and then return to school. So it's been exciting to watch it grow and to be able to be a part of that. It also, to your point, when I joined WIT, I was not comfortable networking. And by the time I was done with my term as president, I was speaking at different places across Nashville and talking to people about our mission, our vision, which helped me not only personally, but professionally become more comfortable just sharing information. And my story, because you feel inferior, right? I did not go to school to be in technology. Who am I to tell people what they should be doing? But the more people you talk to and the more people you interact with, that's their story too. They did not have the same opportunities that we had, or they went down the same path I did, and then they got into technology by accident, and now there they were. So it's a lot of the same stories.
I love it. You got in to learn how to network better, and then you were president for like how many years?
The president term is it's quite a commitment, because first you're vice president for 2, and then you're president for 2, and then you're past president for 2. And in my case, I did that for 3, just because of circumstances. So it was quite a long time that I had the opportunity to be a part of that board. I really enjoyed it, and I loved the women that I was able to meet and interact with, and I learned so much from all of them. You, for instance, I remember when we met at PMI, because coming back to our office, running into each other, and then building those relationships that then grow, or connecting women who are new to Nashville to that community, and then building the relationships that they have so they don't feel like they're alone in the city anymore. It's been really rewarding to be a part of the organization.
Yeah, and what I'll say that WIT has done really well is be that go-between between the scholarship recipients, the schools that they're going to go to, and even the employer.
Yeah.
So that they're building a complete system of, hey, we're going to help you get education, and then we're going to introduce you to a place where you can actually go work and right away actually start to use these skills that we helped fund you to learn. So that's always been really cool and why I was involved too.
One of the women that I met outside of WIT, who's very active in the community as well, she told me her story when she was at MTSU. We're about the same age, and how she found herself as a single mother trying to finish her degree, raise her children, and how tight money was and how scared she was about finding a job, which led to the scholarship that we have with MTSU, where you, as a junior, can apply for a scholarship. We'll help you finish your degree with scholarships from both WIT, and then we partner with a company that also puts money in for the scholarship. You get to do your internship with that company, and then when you graduate, provided you've done a great job at the internship, they offer you a job. So it not only bridges the gap for that tuition for that young lady, but also helps her get integrated into the community. We provide a WIT membership, so she starts to come to the meetings and builds her network and community within the area, and hopefully encourages her to stay in Nashville once she's graduated. So we're not just stealing each other's diverse workforce, but we're actually building the workforce.
So now let's talk a little bit more about digital transformation. I know specifically at Trinisys, you help a ton of different customers in all kinds of different industries, but you've really made a good name for yourself in the healthcare market, being in Nashville. So tell me a little bit more about, specifically with your healthcare customers, how you've used digital transformation to really drive the industry forward and make a big impact.
Yeah, so we've always had healthcare customers pretty much since the inception of the company. We've delved in the healthcare market, either with our insurance clients in the med-mal space, and then early on, some large healthcare systems we did several big projects for. Several years ago, we released a product called Clearview, which is a clinical historical archive. So it takes patient data from multiple systems and consolidates it into a single archive, and then integrates with the go forward system. So all of these, the consolidation in the healthcare market and all of the records that are being left behind for patients, which is making it difficult for patient care, we're able to go in and pull those into the archive, and then with the integration into the go forward system, with a single click, they can see all that patient information. So for example, if you went to a clinic and saw one doctor, and then they were purchased by another hospital, your records could be available to that doctor in the new system because they took those records with them. And then they are able to continue to treat you pretty seamlessly. Or if you went to see 5 different doctors under that healthcare system, they can see all of those records in one single location, which helps them do better patient care. Doesn't make you explain things. Maybe you don't really know what happened in those other records. So it's been really great from a patient care perspective of course, with the consolidation, it's very important that all of those records are consolidated.
mean, that's huge. Your customers have to be loving that. Like, you guys are actually making a big impact in a big healthcare problem.
Yeah, it really is interesting to know how many systems are left behind as people move and shift and buy and sell at different entities. There's a lot of need for those records to be accessible and to be securely stored. So pulling them together into the archive and then making them easily accessible to the provider, the HIM team, has been really impactful. And it's been fun to work with those clients to see how it's changed their workflow and their ability to do that patient care pretty seamlessly. We also have been able to move to a hosting model for that as people become more comfortable with the cloud and the cloud offerings. In the past, when we were first, started, everybody wanted everything in their data center. Everything was secure and on-prem. Over the last several years, that has changed to a really hybrid. Some customers will always want it on-prem, and we'll have an offering for that. But they also have a lot where we've moved those into a secure cloud environment, and we host it there. Of course, that brings data security and and high trust all into play. So there's a lot that goes along with being in the healthcare field, and to be sure that we are keeping our our customers' patient records and any really PHI secure.
So what does that look like? I mean, what kind of different standards you have to adhere by, and level of security do you have to be concerned about on a day-to-day basis as chief operating officer?
Everything.
Yeah, what keeps you up at night? Sounds like a lot could.
Everything. So we have really great policies and processes and procedures, and we've been very diligent about putting in best practices. Early on, we put together a HIPAA roadmap that we follow, and we put together our security policies and procedures. Everybody hates our security officer because we enforce it pretty rigorously, which we have to. It's always fun. The fight on the front end, we don't give in. It turns out to our benefit every single time. So there's a lot that we do to ensure not only the security at our on-site facility. We do not put anything, we never bring any data on-site to our offices. We keep everything segregated and in the cloud in secure locations. But keeping all of that secure, keeping those transmissions between our customers and where we're pulling data from is always very important to us and top of mind.
So now let's talk a little bit about the interesting times that we're in right now with COVID-19. I'm curious to hear how it's impacted your business specifically, because knowing your organization, you're a very tight-knit community. You guys love doing things together. How have you transitioned to this? Everybody's working from home and living on Zoom.
Yeah, it was unexpected for sure. To your point, we've always been an on-site collaborative team. We now know horrible at interacting with our remote workers. We had a couple, and we thought we were doing a good job integrating them. We were not.
Oh no!
Now that we've all been at home, we realized how horribly we were failing at that. When we first went home, we had already been making plans for the team to move to a work from home situation for a period of time while we moved into our new office. We thought it would be the least impactful on our business to just send everybody home for several weeks. We would move everything to our new office, and then they would come back and it would be finished. Since we're all technology workers, and to your point, we have all the technology we need to be able to do that. We work with our customers remotely all the time. We thought we were going home for 6 weeks. 2 weeks to flatten the curve. We thought realistically it would be 6 weeks. But we were really, when people were leaving, we had a motto of, what do you need to be successful at home? What pieces of equipment on your desk would help you be efficient? I know work for myself, working on just my laptop is okay if I'm working after I've been at the office all day and I'm just doing some email on my couch. But if I have to work all day, I need both my monitors, my docking station, everything to be successful. So we offered that to our employees as they were leaving. Some of them, and in a lot of our areas, we had just had the tornado the week before that, and some of our employees were impacted by that. So one person needed a chair, and then the question started coming, we can bring our chair. So if they didn't have an appropriate chair to sit in, we let them take their chair home. Everything was on, we believe that they'll bring them back when we come back to the office, because we trust our employees and we really just wanted them to be very comfortable at home and be able to be efficient. So when we went home, we were very good about, like, we were having check-ins every day. I was sending an email. We were all talking. But as it's become, happy hour Fridays, we've always had happy hour Friday. I'm sure we used to have a drink cart Fridays where we would all gather at the end of the day and have a cocktail and really just decompress after the week. And then everyone would get a chance to mingle. So we kept that going on our, as we went home on our Zoom calls, but we found they weren't quite the same, because you can't talk to, like, on average, like 60 people are on there and everyone's trying to, like, be engaged, but how do you all be engaged at the same time? So we tried some different things with breakout sessions and a topic, or we would run a contest. Would you show me your craziest whatever? What's the best thing that's happened to you because of the quarantine? So we tried different things to engage the team, but what we found is our team has always collaborated pretty well organically, and they're doing that on their own. Like, we know that they're getting together. We know they're having their team meetings. We're all trying to be as collaborative as possible. We have a camera on situation where if we're meeting, you should turn your camera on. I mean, there's reasons why you're not going to turn it on. Not everybody has a great day. Not everybody feels like being on camera all day. But for the most part, the leadership team always has their cameras on. And we have asked the team to do the same, because the conversation is much different when you can see someone versus not just being on the phone. And you can see what's happening with the other attendees. So, like, if you're on mute and you're talking, or which happens all the time, or if someone's having a problem, or if they don't agree with a conversation, it's very hard to know that if you can't see them. So we've just tried to be flexible. We've tried to take into account what will help each employee be successful. They are all different and unique, and not everyone has the same needs. Well,
that's good. And the fact that you've grown during all of this and even have open requisitions, like, that's a really cool story. And I think the benefit to technology and the fact that you are a company moving digital transformation forward, there's going to be a place for you, and there's going to be a need in the market, and that you'll continue to grow even in trying times. That's the one benefit of this career path. So
I've been so extremely proud of our team and what they've accomplished while going home. They really seamlessly transitioned to work from home and really embraced the world that we live in and the hand they were dealt, and just kept working to deliver high quality projects for our clients and making sure we were making our commitments. And I couldn't be prouder of our team. We have amazing individuals who really have made me proud to be a part of Trinisys.
Well, Beth, this has been so fun. And I just have one question that I want to wrap up with. I know we talked earlier about how you're really focused on principles within Trinisys and making sure the community knows about that, and that everybody in the company lives by those principles. But I want to hear more about your personal principle that you've lived by in business to help you be successful.
I think I would, the principle that I live by is to do everything with excellence. If we deliver excellence to our customers and we create an environment for which our employees can deliver excellence, then I feel like we're being successful. I also want that to be a fun and collaborative environment. So making sure we engage strategies that allow them to be creative and to enjoy the work that they do makes everybody's work better and goes to that end game of being excellent.
That's great. I love that. And I've always, seen that you really do live by excellence in, every area of your life. You're committed to your family, to your health, and to the company. And then even even your side hustles have your full attention and excellence. So I've always loved that about you. And I, again, just want to thank you for being on the show. This has been so much fun.
Thank you, Rebecca. It was so great to see you, and I enjoyed being a part of this. Thank you for including me.
Absolutely. I'll see you in Nashville soon.
See you soon.